Alright, guys, this is a video that shows you how to fill up the sheet and deal with the software and the web-based account logins. So you will receive the sheet. Please make sure that it's going to be sent to everyone in the course, but just make sure that one or two people from the team fill it up, and don't enter data in the rows meant for other teams. I have there's a special entry for Archel's team because we had a change in the names, so I have entered Ria and Mansi's, the account IDs against Ria and Mansi's names. You can actually, this obviously needs to go against Ria's name, so you can just flip that around. So you will get the sheet with edit rights, and please make sure you enter only data in the rows meant for your team. Okay, let's get this ready as soon as possible. Alright, now this is what you have to do. What you take is, let's go through so you will get the account name and the account number. Where will you get that from? You'll get it from the account management login. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take the example of this first ID from, and please don't write your passwords in this common sheet, okay? So this, I'm going to take this example from Ayushi's team and show you exactly what has to be done. So let's take this ID, and we need to test the account management login. This is already Y here, so some of the data has already been filled in by me, so you can just skip that. You just fill in the cells which are not filled in, right? So but I'll just show you the process for this example with Ayushi's ID. Okay, so we take this ID here, we go to the Interactive Brokers homepage, note the URL. All right, I'm highlighting that here, interactivebrokers.com en. Even if you go to the India page, it's the same thing. You got to go to this login option here, then you get an account management. Right now we're testing the account management login. All right, so I enter this, and I think that your passwords have to be alphanumeric. One of the teams has sent me, this is Anchal's team, has sent me a password which is not alphanumeric. Please check it and send me the right password once again. Okay, so what you need to enter here in this column here, what I'm saying, account name, just copy the data from here. You see the cursor goes to this left, bottom left, you'll see the name of the account. Enter that. Look at the account number, just take the last 6 digits of the account number. So here you put the account name. You'll see that I've already entered the data for some of these accounts, okay, when I was testing them. So obviously you don't need to fill in, Akanksha's team essentially doesn't need to fill in any of the account names, but they do need to fill in the account numbers. Note the account number over here, take the last 6 digits, do what I've done here in some of the cases, and wherever there's a blank, please make sure you fill it in. Okay, so that's the account name and account number from the account management login. When you do the account management login, you should not get, let me take out some Acrobat files to show you some of the account errors. All right, TWS this one, then error 1, error 2. All right, so so one of the things you should not get, when you do this account login that I just tried to do and managed to successfully do for Ayushi's account, you should get this kind of a display when you log in, and not an error message like this. Okay, this is So we don't want to see this kind of error message. All right. Now, we also do not want to see this kind of error message. If you get this kind of error message, that means that your account application is not complete and the system is giving you a option to finish the account application process. This also should not happen. Okay, we should not get any of these two. And if we get this kind of error, that means essentially that your application process is done, but you are waiting for approval. I guess it will take a couple of days before we get live data and things like that. So ideally you should not get any of these three prompts at this stage, and you should go straight to this kind of a display. Okay, and then you take down your name and your account number and you fill in the rows here. Okay, next is TWS login. You got to enter Y or N for yes or no. Okay, so let's see what we mean by TWS login. Once again, I'm going to copy this ID and then I'm going to go to my desktop here. So you should have done this. You should have gone to the, I'm going to log out of this. I'm just going to go to the Interactive Brokers homepage and I will look at products, technology, trading platforms. Actually, TWS software. Should have clicked the wrong. I clicked the wrong thing there. Okay, let's go one more time. Yeah, technology, TWS software. Okay, TWS latest Windows. Okay, take the TWS latest version, and or you can also log in to Trader Workstation from login TWS latest. Download this to your system. Once you download and install, you should get this kind of a desktop icon. So we want to click this, wait for this to load. Okay, while we're waiting for it to load, you can see all these it will take a little bit of time, so feel free to explore the IB website. Very good quality information, so feel free to educate yourself beyond the requirements of the course. Now back to this. I've already copied the username, the ID. Alright, at this stage also you should not get the kind of errors that I showed you here. At this stage, once you've tried to log into the TWS, you should not get this kind of error. If you get it, just say no, just type no in the spreadsheet, and then we'll deal with it. Okay, so we'll wait for this to log in. Under education, you can see Traders Academy. You can read all this stuff here. Traders Law. All of this stuff is learning, good quality learning. As I said, don't fiddle around on the internet and look at any and every source, because there's a lot of garbage on the internet. Look at the verified sources. I mean, that the sources that I have vetted and given to you, like that This Matter website, thismatter.com. Any of the central bank websites, any of the exchange websites, and the US Treasury website, things like that. So those are reliable sources, and you can get good quality education from there. That's what you should focus on. Okay, let's see where we are on our login. While this is logging in, how will you find out if US markets are open? Just go to Yahoo Finance. Remember, not the India. If you go by default, it tends to send you to the India website. Look at it, just the plain, the original Yahoo Finance, which defaults to the US settings. So there you will always find this part here on the top right hand corner of the screen, which will tell you when US markets are going to open. Okay, so you can find that information from there. Okay, so our system has login, so we can see that this ID that Ayushi has is working, and okay, so they have already set in, I think they've already entered most of the tickers. We'll show you what you have to do now is, having tested, so here, since we have managed to log in here, I'll enter this as Ayushi's TWS login is yes. Now we're going to test for live data. What are we going to do? We're going to take the remember to take the tickers from, now you're going to do this, now I'm doing this video when US markets have yet to open, so I'm going to show you with some other stuff, some other tickers, but you will do it with the tickers that you find here. Student FDRM Jan 19, the US equity option trading project. When you open that, you get this particular spreadsheet, and you are supposed to enter all the tickers, which you see that Ayushi's team have already done for this particular ID. Okay, these are your ETFs. The ones in blue and the ones in yellow are individual stocks. Remember, ETFs are baskets of stocks. Okay, all right, so I think they have KO, MO, yeah, PFE, SLB, XOM. SLB is Schlumberger, which is a oil field services stocks. I've given you a couple of energy stocks. One is ExxonMobil and Schlumberger. Okay, so what we're going to do is, so what you have to do, I'm going to give you the example with respect to other data. You can already see there is a little bit of trading going on here. We can see that when you mouse over here, it says tick dot color indicates uptick, downtick, which means it's pretty clear that we don't have delayed data. But I want you to perform this test during US trading hours. So wait for US equity markets to open so that we are absolutely certain. Normally, if the data is delayed, when you mouse over this red and green dot, you will get a message saying delayed data. Okay, we're going to show you what to do here. If you try to okay, let's do one thing. Let's try and do a trade here. They've got some data for, okay, the one thing that they have not entered, the one ticker they haven't entered is the most important ticker of all, which is SPY. Isn't SPY part of your ticker set? Yeah, it is still part of your ticker set. So what they have to do is, good that they've kept a gap between. So we want to enter SPY. So here you see how to enter the tickers. You enter SPY, press enter. This is true for all the stocks, including this SPY. Although it is a ETF, when you enter it, you should choose Stock Smart. Okay, because it trades like a stock. So it is not a futures, options, or CFD. So it is to be. So here you should choose, when you enter this, it gives you the option, choose Stock Smart, and then you see that the S&P 500 proxy, the SPY, which is come up here. Okay, so you can see that SPY as a ticker. All right, so you can see this, the the Nasdaq 100 proxy, which is the QQQ ETF. Let's try and trade in that. So I'm going to sell it. I want to just ensure that an actual trade does not happen. So I see that the bid is 171.76. So I'm going to place a limit order at an incredibly high level. So there is no chance of this getting, I'm going to place it at 191.77. What I want to test is that I don't get any kind of, but you got to do this test in US equity market trading time. So when you click this transmit here, you see that it does not say anything about you are trying to enter data, you're trying to trade in a market for which you do not have live data. This is very dangerous, etc. That kind of message should not come. You should just get a message which is just this, basically. If you want, you might choose not to display this, but I think it's good practice to have this done. So you press transmit, And what does it say? Orders being held and monitored. Fine. We are also going to test once for another product. Let's enter ES. ES is the E-mini S&P 500 future. I'm going to test that. I'm just going to test it now here. So we'll take the March contract. And this is the other thing that you have to do. So whatever I'm showing you for ES, okay, you do that for one of the ETF or stock triggers that is given to you for the project. Okay, you just do whatever, because this is, I know this is live. Okay, so this, you can see how tight the spread is. This is the one tick spread, 0.25. Okay, so I'm going to try to once again trade here. 27.59. I'm going to make it 29.59. I'm trying, so the bid is 27.59 and a half. I'm going to sell at 29.59 and a half, so there's no chance of this getting executed immediately. This exceeds the value limit of, okay, there's an artificial limit of $100,000 per trade value, but we'll just override and transmit. There is, notice here that there is no message that tells me that your data feed is delayed and you're trying to trade with delayed data. Override and transmit. So you have two orders now. Now there's two different things here. This order, you notice the colors are different because this Globex platform, which is an electronic execution platform owned by the CME, this is open pretty much 24/5 with a small gap between US trading hours and New Zealand, and the New Year's, the end of US trading and the opening of New Zealand. But anyway, so right now Globex is very much active. That's why you can see that this particular order is live on Globex. Okay, and this one is being held and monitored. Okay, all right, so let's now cancel these orders because we don't want this.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Okay, so we got this confirmation that we are not working with delayed data, but we are going to do one more test. We are going to click on this ES. Remember, whatever I'm doing for ES, you have to do it for at least one ticker in the list given to you during US equity market trading hours. Right click on the ticker, and I'm not going to go through that because they've seen me doing it, so they've put that as a frequently selected option. Okay, go to trading tools, go to option trader, click on option trader. Okay, there's some information about dividends. We can just uncheck that. This is what opens up. I've chosen option trader. This is the options on the S&P 500 the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract. Okay, so these contracts are called, these options are called futures options because they are options on underlying instruments which are actually futures contracts. Okay, so you can see here reasonably tight spread. So what you want to see is, what you want to try and test is, look at, first of all, here you should see when you mouse over the bid and offer, you can see the implied volatility is being given to you. Okay, that 12.778 is the implied volatility, and here you have 12.538. You can see how tight the bid offer spread is. And options, of course, you have some additional decision problems. Which option are you going to choose? Let's take the one which is 29 days. Okay, all right, now let's try and do a trade here. I just click the bid, which means I click the offer, which means I want to buy, but I don't want to execute a transaction and mess up Ayushi's account. So what I'm going to do is I notice that the bid offer is 39.25 and 40. So I'm going to put in a limit order to buy at such a ridiculously low price that it has no chance of getting executed. All right, so I see that the offer is 40. So I will say that I want to buy at 25. Okay, so there's no chance this is going to get immediately executed. And I just want to test to make sure that my data feed is live. Okay, look at this. This market is active right now. It does not say anything to me about delayed. You are trying to transmit an order in a market for which you do not have live data. Okay, so it is accepting my order. It's ready to accept my order. It's just giving me the margin impact, etc. of this transaction. What is the value of the contract? How much commission I have to pay, etc. If you want to check on performance profile, you can do that. But we're going to do this. We're just going to transmit it, and you can see that the order is live. Okay. It's just not visible because the view is too constricted. Okay, all right, So I put in an order to buy calls. This is called a straddle view. Okay, this is a type of view. This is a straddle view for option prices. You got calls on one side, puts on one side, strike prices down the middle. Okay, and that's what I've chosen to do. 38.75, 39.50. Now what I'm going to do is I tested it now. I just want to, now I'm just going to delete
Order
it.
cancelled.
Cancel the order because I don't want to keep this. I mean, my purpose in demonstrating how to test for how to test to ensure that your options data feed is live. Remember, you have to, I've done it for the futures options, the E-mini S&P 500 futures options, but you have to do this exact same set of steps for one of the tickers, at least in your list, during US equity market trading hours. All right. Okay, I think we're done now. Once you do this, you test that everything is okay. Then you obviously enter TWS login as yes. And I've tested IUC's data, but obviously this has to be done during US trading hours. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to enter yes for the live data. I want them to do this again. I want IUC's team to do this again for their own account during US trading hours so that we're absolutely certain, and do it for the equity tickers and the ETF tickers given for your project. So we're absolutely certain that we're not going to face any problems going forward. All right, I think this is it. You finish the update as quickly as possible. Don't be sloppy with this, and let's get the confidence that we can actually execute this project, and then we will get started on the knowledge base on how to trade options.